Let them try things. And if they don't work out, be there and again support them if it doesn't work. Eventually they'll settle on something they're really good at and something they really want to do. In my case, or in my daughter's case, it was the military. But it could have been anything, and whatever it was, I'd have been happy, really, as long as she was happy at doing it.
Welcome to Find Your Force, the Career Potential podcast. Everyone has a talent they were born to do, and we're here to help you find yours for your career. Whether you're taking the first step or the next step, our advice and stories are here to help. Hi, I'm Hope, the host of Season 2 of Find Your Force, and I'm delighted to be joined by Sam and Adie to speak all about preparing your children for the world of work. Hello Sam, hello Adie, thank you so much for joining me. To begin this episode, can you tell me about your role? So Adie, let's start with you.
Hello, my name's Adie Flanagan. I am a weapons systems operator in the Royal Air Force. I've been in for 33 years now. I've done a few different jobs. Started off as an assistant air traffic controller, and then I became a weapons systems operator, and then I left the RAF for 4 years, and then I rejoined back as a weapons systems operator again. So in total, I've been in 33 years, even though I joined in 1986.
Couldn't stay away, could you?
Couldn't stay away. Loved it, yeah.
And Sam, what about you?
Hi, I'm Sam. I joined as an RAF medic in 2004. I came out for 30 days and then I rejoined as a full-time reservist in any role, and that's within the cyberspace and engineering recruitment here at RAF Cranwell.
So you're both in the RAF, you're both parents. Tell me about your children, ages and how many you have. Adie?
Yeah, 2 kids, both girls. My youngest is 11 and my oldest is 24.
Sam?
I have 2 children, 2 girls again. I've got a 10-year-old and a 17-year-old.
When you had your child, your first child, what did you hope for them growing up? Was there any kind of careers that you thought, I'd love it if my child done this or done that?
I kind of hoped you'd kind of follow in my footsteps and join the Air Force, because I know obviously of the benefits that you can get. Obviously living in Lincolnshire as well, it's what's around us. We're surrounded with Royal Air Force camps. But obviously just watching her as she grew up, just waiting to see what she was good at, what she wanted to do really. So it's just a case of supporting whatever she wanted to do.
Adie?
It did take a while for her to make her own mind up. Just gave her the support that we felt she needed, and it took her about 6 years after leaving school, but then she settled on the RAF and she joined up in 2020.
Okay, followed in her father's footsteps then.
She did, bless her. She had 24 years of experience though, because she was 24 she joined up, so she watched me for 24 years, and I take it as a bit of a compliment really, that she thought that was the career path she wanted to follow, so I'm quite happy with that.
So let's just talk about the ages of your children, because we're jumping around a little bit here. So Adie, how old's yours?
My eldest is 24, my youngest is 11, and she'll be 12 in January.
And for you, Sam?
I've got one daughter that's 10 years old, so she's just about to head into secondary school, which is quite scary. And then my eldest is 17, so she's at the age that I joined, so yeah.
Okay. Talking to you then, Adie, because obviously your child's a little bit older, they've been through those motions. Was it difficult to actually listen to what she wanted to do? I know that you said you were open for a surprise and you would have supported her, whatever, but was there any kind of feelings of, oh no, I don't want you to do that, or?
Yeah, career-wise, not so much, but life-wise, lifestyle choices, definitely. She left school at 16, 17. We would rather she'd stayed on, but she wasn't really academically inclined at that time. And then she decided that boys are the way to go, so she moved in with a boyfriend. And then we moved down south. We gave her the option to move down with us to Lincolnshire. She decided to stay in Scotland. And then followed us 6 months later. It was all a surprise to us. But again, it was just supporting my daughter in the way she wanted to go. I would hate in 5 years' time for her to have to say to me, I wish I hadn't done that, or wish you'd suggested something else. So you give them as much support as you can and let them find their own way, really. And that seems to have worked for us so far. And
she obviously followed in your footsteps, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Were there any, as well as feeling kind of proud and kind of, it's a compliment to me, she wants to do what I'm doing, was there any fears for her doing that?
To be honest, no. When she joined, I'd been in 31 years already. I knew exactly what to expect for her. And I was quite pleased, because I know what the RAF can be, I know what the RAF can provide, and I was happy that she would have that all available to her, as opposed to, for example, she was considered in the retail industry. She worked... She dotted around there for 3 or 4 years. Again, it didn't really offer anything, didn't offer a great future. Whereas, should she choose it, the RAF's got all that there for her, plus the support in the background as well. So I was really happy for her to choose that.
It's quite a difficult question, this, because you've kind of grown up yourself in the Royal Air Force.
Yeah.
But if you were a parent who didn't work in the Royal Air Force yourself, do you think you would have had some reservations or concerns?
Undoubtedly, because obviously I'm coming into this with 31 years experience. Without that, I would have needed a little bit of education myself before I would have supported her, but to be honest, I would have supported her with whatever she wanted to do. But I'd like to be educated myself. So I would have probably, as I say, gone off, read the information available, and then supported her in her choice.
And Sam, your daughter is approaching a time where she's going to have to make some decisions about what she does next. Do you feel concerned for her and worried on her behalf? Because there are so many options now, it can be confusing.
Definitely, yeah. So currently she's in sixth form, and she has got a job that she does in the evenings and stuff like that. She wants to go to Australia, and she wants to go to university in Australia. Wow. I do have family over there, so you know there's people there that can support her there, but Australia, you know, you've got to get on an airplane if you want to get to where my family is. So, you know, it's a bit nerve-wracking thinking that's her hopes and dreams, is to go to a different country to study, you know, and I'm not going to be there to help support her. Can she afford it? It's the financial aspects of that. At the moment, that's her dream, and we will support that if we can, you know, support where we can with that. She's saving a lot of money and everything, so yeah, I'm very nervous about what's going to happen next. I just want her to find something she loves and find something she really enjoys to do, and that she's good at as well. And we'll just support her all on the way. And if she changes her mind and Australia's not the way for her and she chooses a different university or an apprenticeship or even joining the forces, you know, we'll be there to support whatever choice she makes, and help her along her way, really.
Why does she want to go to Australia to study?
I think it's because my sister joined the Australian Air Force. She's told us of this beautiful life and world she has. She was in our Royal Air Force, but her and her husband went over there together. They've got this amazing life where they different units. You know, they're in Darwin at the moment, and it's absolutely 35 degrees, beautiful beaches. So they've painted this beautiful picture for her, and it's something that she's gone, do you know what, I want that too.
You mentioned at the start of the episode that you would like it if she followed in your footsteps, like Adie's daughter has done, joined the Royal Air Force. Will you be disappointed if she doesn't? No, of course not. I will definitely just support her whatever she wants to do. It's not for everybody. I've loved it. I followed in my sister's footsteps and my grandparents' footsteps, and we're very forces focused. My husband's in the forces as well, so it's in our blood type thing. But if that's not what she wants to do because she's very different to me, then we'll just support whatever she wants to do, really. How do you help them find their force, find their true potential? Adie?
That's difficult, really. How do you help them find it? Again, it comes down to that word we keep using, that support word. They need to know that you're there to help them with the mistakes they're going to make, inevitably going to make. So you need to be there for that. Even though you can see those mistakes coming, you still need to let them get on with it and find out that it's possibly not the way they should be going. Let them try things. And if it don't work out, be there and again support them if it doesn't work. Eventually they'll settle on something they're really good at and something they really want to do. In my case, or in my daughter's case, it was the military. But it could have been anything, and whatever it was, I'd have been happy, really, as long as she was happy at doing it.
It's easier said than done, though, isn't it? I'm not a parent myself, but I can imagine that you're saying all the right things, or you can see the mistakes come in, you've just got to sit back. How on earth do you sit back? What kind of things do you do to enable yourself to chill out and just watch in horror?
Well, I won't lie, there were one or two fallings out, and we still talk about those today. I can be quite hard-headed, as can she. We butt heads quite a lot. And it's easier, with the benefit of hindsight, to say, yeah, we'll just sit back and let her make her own mind up. But you've literally got to sit on your hands sometimes. And obviously good lines of communication between your partner and yourself, that helps out. Because I might have one opinion, my wife will inevitably have a different opinion, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle. And it generally works out to be what is better for our daughter.
Sam, with this Australia situation, are you and your partner on the same wavelength?
Happy, supportive, but also, it sounds awful, but I like to look at realistic job preferences and realistic views on life. I mean, it's going for an international student to go and study in Australia. It's going to cost a lot of money. So we're happy to support her, and but I think most of it, if she has to find her own way there as well. Like, we'll sit together and we'll look through all the different things of what she needs, the finances and everything like that, where she's going to stay. But I've said to her, if it's Australia she wants, she's got to save the money to get there as well. So I would prefer she stays home. She's my baby and I want to look after her. But it'll be nice holidays in a way.
How do you ensure that your children stay realistic with their goals? Because sometimes you might spot that your child hasn't got a natural ability in something that they want to do. For example, say your child wants to be a singer or a dancer in the West End, but they're really bad at both those things. Singing and dancing is not something they can do. How do you set realistic targets for them or reassure them, but also not crush their dreams?
I think it's all encouragement. So say my daughter loves, my youngest likes tap dancing, and when she first showed me her tap dancing, I went, that's lovely, let's get you in a class. And now she's been doing it. She's amazing at it. She's a tap dancer, she's a horse rider, so she's got lots of different hobbies and stuff like that. So I think it's just encouraging them to give it a go. When I was younger, I wanted to play the violin. My mother said it was awful, and even the teachers were saying you really need to slowly let her down and say it's not very good. And I luckily found my own way and said, yeah, I'm not getting anywhere. But I think it's just letting them have a go, keep going for it. If that's what they really want, sometimes they can start off terrible. Look at Ed Sheeran. Apparently he's got it out there at the moment. He was a terrible singer when he started off, and now he's multi-millionaire. So I think you can get better at things even if you do start off not as good.
Adie, do you agree?
Yeah, I would. And it almost sounds quite cruel, but you need to let them find out for themselves whether it's for them or not. My daughter, when she was 15, wanted to be a ninja. It was never going to happen. But we let her dress up, do her fancy dress things. I would back up everything that was just said there. Yeah, just let them find out for themselves whether it's for them or not, and give them as much help as you can along the way.
How do you help them find a career they'd actually enjoy? Because you might have ambitions for your children, that they do a job that gives them financial gains, they're comfortable. I'm sure that you want that for your children, but that doesn't always go hand in hand with being happy. So how do you help them find something they're actually going to like doing? Adie?
From experience, again, it's a communication piece. Daniela would come home from work in the retail sector, for example, and explain how her day had been and what she was unhappy with. And sooner or later you have the conversation, what would you like and how can we achieve that? And she decided she wanted to travel. How can you achieve that? Well, you can join the military. Okay, how can I achieve that within the military? And it turns out the cabin crew, for example, in the military tend to travel quite a lot. And it ticked all the boxes for her. So I supported her in that application, and we are where we are now. She's been in for 2 years now.
So like a pros and cons list almost?
Absolutely. And the pros came out far outweighed the cons in this instance. But again, it's just finding out what she wanted to achieve and how could we achieve that. And that got her to where she is.
And Sam, how would you help your child? I know that they're not there yet, but find a career they enjoy doing.
It's just starting off really. So obviously she's doing her A-levels at the moment. She was doing sports as well as media and photography, and she decided sports wasn't for her anymore. So we sat down and we went to the teachers and we said, right, sports isn't really where she wants to go anymore. She's decided that on her own. Is there any chance that she could take on something else? They made her do a whole load of work over a weekend to see if she could prove her way, and she did, and she managed to get in, and now they've changed her sports over to product design, which is something more that she enjoys. So I think she's already kind of finding her way there herself.
It links to what Adie said about keeping those communication lines open so you're hearing what your child's saying, but sometimes if your child's kind of having an emotional reaction or feeling passionate about something, they can't always make a plan. So would you say that your job is to listen to what they're saying and help them be pragmatic?
I suppose so, yeah, just listen to what they want, and then I do some research with her as well, sit down and go, right, these are the sort of things you like to do, where can this lead in future, where is it realistically going to lead you, do you want to stay around here, do you want to travel abroad, do you want to live in London, that sort of thing. So it's kind of, yeah, doing a nice, like even a scatter diagram as well, of saying all the things you're good at, all the things that you enjoy, and the things that you really don't want to do, put them in a pot, and then just get rid of that pot. If it's something that you really don't, we're not even going to worry about thinking about any of those sort of jobs, or insisting that she looks into them. So it's really just getting it on a piece of paper, I suppose, is the easiest way to do it.
Because that's just as important, isn't it? Finding what you don't want to do. It's like what you mentioned, Adie, about your daughter and retail. That's just as valuable as finding something that you do want to do, because it enables you to toss it out and say, no, thank you, don't want to do that one. Did you know that Royal Air Force apprenticeships will give you the chance to earn a new qualification whilst you're earning and give you a guaranteed job at the end? The experience you gain will equip you with the skills to work at the top of your field, both in the UK and overseas. If you want to find out more, check out the description below. Sam, when your eldest finds her way, what do you wish for her career?
So mainly I wish that I hope she has a happy career, and I want her to do a job that she enjoys doing, but also obviously thinking about like the living situation at the moment, where everybody's in crisis at the moment. I want her to be, no, I'm comfortable now. So, you know, find a job that she'll be financially comfortable in, that she won't have to have these worries about putting food on the table or heating your house. So definitely financially, I'd love her to be stable and comfortable. You know, I can't wait for her to move out and have her own house and have her own way, and you know, and just have that job that makes her give her what she wants. I know she wants to travel, so I'd love for her to be financially able to go off and travel, even with work. That would be, a dream of mine for her, definitely, so she can travel, work, and really enjoy what she's doing and come back to me with hundreds of stories.
So Sam, your daughter worked in a sandwich factory and has now got a job in retail. How have those experiences changed her and set her up for the future?
Well, as soon as she turned 16, she really wanted to make her own money. So I got her a job where we work in the sandwich factory. It was tough work. It was really hard. It was started off at 7 a.m. and she finished at 3, and she was really tired and she was having to do a lot of the lugging around, carrying these really heavy crates. So she just looked quite depressed when she would come home. She was happy in the fact that she was making money, and the place that she worked for were lovely, lovely people. But I think just that sort of work, she knew that's what she didn't want to do that anymore, because it was killing her really. And she was in between doing her GCSEs at the time. So we just said, right, let's just give up that job. We'll give the reason why you're doing your GCSEs, obviously, so you need to concentrate on that. As soon as she did her GCSEs, she says, right, Mum, I need to get working again. You know, I enjoyed getting that money. It was, you know, my money that I could go treat you if I wanted to. You know, I wouldn't have to buy her presents for her friends, that sort of thing. So she went out, and we went on Google, found a job in retail. She prepared her for the interview, so we did a little mock interview together and everything. She went and she smashed it, and she got the job. She loves working there. It's a different sort of work, so there's no heavy lifting or anything like that. It's more customer service based, and it's lots of young people working there as well, and she absolutely loves it. And obviously the money was doubled, so even better for her. So yeah, she's really happy, and she's definitely one of those people that wants to work, not being like some of her friends potentially haven't got jobs at the moment, but she was just like, I want a job, I want my own money, and she's gone off and done that herself. So slight bit of help from me, but yeah, really, really proud of her.
You sound like a really supportive mother to help her through that process and do mock interviews and stuff. And you mentioned there's some of her friends don't want to have a job, but there are parents who don't want their youngsters to have a job. They want them just to focus on their studies. None of the other stuff matters right now. What would you say to those parents in terms of the stuff that it can give your children, that work experience that's so valuable? How would you say to them, maybe you should actually let them do that? Oh yeah, I definitely encourage every parent, please encourage your children to, if they want to get a job, please encourage them to get it. The confidence that comes out of them from working, you know, she's talking to all different age people, obviously doing customer service, the confidence that comes out of that, just getting to do interviews as well. I've had 3 interviews in my life. I'm 35, and you know, they're daunting, they're horrible, they're scary, but she's already done that twice now at 17 years old. So that experience and knowing that she can get the job, she's managed to get 2 jobs herself from those interviews, bringing her own money home, and obviously it's just planning her life. It's that doing her studies, you know, seeing her friends, having that job. It's a well-rounded, you know, teenage life. So definitely encourage them to get up and get a job if they can and if that's what they want. I imagine it's given her a sense of pride. Oh, definitely, and we're all so proud of her. The grandparents and everybody always talks about her, and yeah, we're very, very proud, and she's very proud of herself every time she shows me her bank account. So. Adie, in terms of your daughter, did you help her with her application process and interviews as well?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a conversation to be had about qualifications vs experience. I don't see why I can't do both at the same time. She had a lot of experience at interviews because she'd worked in retail and the care industry. So she didn't need any help with that, but she did need a little bit of help with things like aptitude tests, certainly the fitness side of life to join the military, so I gave her a bit of help with that. Again, we butted heads repeatedly, because I didn't know anything, obviously. But yeah, certainly gave her every bit of help that she needed, which is why she aced her basic training.
And how do you support them with the applications without taking over? I know you said about butting heads, because I imagine sometimes it could be like, no, the answer is this, but you can't give them the answer. They need to do it themselves.
Yeah, as we've already chatted about, it's a matter of leading them without giving them the answers, basically, which I did. For example, if there was a particular question she was struggling with or something she had to summarise, I could direct her to a relevant publication, for example, to a relevant book, and let her find out the answers for herself, which she was very adept at doing.
Anything to add, Sam?
Just with the applications with my daughter, we sat down and wrote her CV together. I would say to her, right, what do you think your strengths and weaknesses are? And then she would tell me, and then I'd be like, okay, this is what I think for you as well. And she'd be like, right. So we'd work off each other, really. So it was really a case of we've done all the applications together and the CV and everything together. And it's just, you can get more from it because you can see something in somebody that they maybe not be able to see themselves.
And it's that element of coaching and drawing things out rather than telling, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. I wouldn't be able to tell her. So, yeah, we work together, and I'd say she would agree we're pretty much teamwork. So,
brilliant. As a quick side note, obviously you both work in the Royal Air Force. What do you think your children make of that? Obviously, you mentioned earlier, Sam, that your whole family is like in your blood, so it must be quite normal for your daughter. What do you think she makes of you working in the Royal Air Force?
I think that they're proud of us, and they're also grateful as well because of all the different opportunities they've been given because of us being in the Royal Air Force. With the nurseries on camp, they've got friends that they've had for life. They all moved up to school together. The schools are close to the camps as well. The wraparound care and everything, the parties on the camp. So I obviously volunteer on a lot of committees as well. So I get to help organise parties for service children. So they've been able to, attend all these parties and things like we've got Airplay, which is like a youth club. So they've had all these extra opportunities for trips away and everything like that. So I think they're quite grateful that we are in this situation, that they get to do all these fun things as well with mum's work. So,
Adie, do you agree?
Yeah,
not mum's work.
Well, I'd have to reinforce what Sam said. My Daniela still talks about events that she had when she was 7, 8-year-old on stations. We've been fortunate enough to travel around quite a few stations, which has made Daniela quite hardy. She moves into new situations quite easily because she's had to go from school to school, for example, from Cornwall to London, Scotland to Lincolnshire. Some people might say it's a bad thing. It's turned Daniela into a self-starter. She's quite happy in any sort of environment. Military-wise, she's only ever known the RAF because obviously she's known me for 24 years, but I'm sure she's as proud of what I do as I am of what she does.
I love that. Thank you. So what advice would you give parents or carers who want to help their children decide on what to do for their career? You've been through it. You're going through it. What advice would you give a fellow parent? Adie?
Oh, listen, being a parent's not easy, but being a kid's pretty hard as well, to be honest. So it's just a matter of getting together and chatting. Communication winds its way through pretty much everything we do. And if it's all possible, just keep talking and you'll figure it out between yourselves. We need to understand what they want rather than tell them what you want, I would suggest. So just keep chatting. It's the best way.
Sam?
Just encourage them to follow their dreams, really. It sounds, a bit pink and fluffy, but it's I wouldn't want to be stuck in a job that I wouldn't like to do. So it's just encourage them to find out what they're good at, what they want to do, and really how to get there. So it's just that encouragement, talking, and if they start shutting themselves off, doing their studies and everything, always just take a chance to sit down, take them off for a drink, a Costa or something, and just chat to them and make sure that they know that you're there to speak to and ask for advice, as well as, they can come to you at any point, and you'll help them on their way, really.
Not that I think she needs it, but Adie, because you've got an older daughter, think back to when she was 17. What advice would you give to Sam?
I think do as you're doing. It's not easy. Keep talking, keep supporting. and she will find what she wants to do. And I'm sure you'll be happy, and as long as she's happy, you'll be happy.
Amazing.
Simple as.
And finally, if your child had no idea what to do, what would be your first step in helping them? Sam?
Oh, if they had no idea what to do, well, we'd sit down and we'd find out what they want to do. We would just make a few lists, a few ideas. I mean, obviously, I've got a 10-year-old daughter at the moment. She wants to be a horse rider. She wants to be a tap dancer. You know, she wants to do all these different things. But as she gets older, we'll start to, you know, see where she'll best fit and see, you know, get on the internet, get onto these websites and everything, and have a look and see what's out there. Because sometimes you live in a little town, you don't actually know all the jobs that are available out there. You can only say what's around you. So it's a case of getting on the internet as well and just finding out what are the jobs. Because I still come across jobs now and I'm like, oh my god, I would have loved to do that. So it's really getting that research and Googling and finding, you know, seeing what else is out there, because you might have an idea of what you want to do, but then you find something and go, wow, that could be me.
And how important is, Adie, to reassure your children that it's okay not to always have the answers? I'm talking about my brother, he's in his 30s and he still feels a bit lost. How do you say, it's okay? Or is it not okay?
That's absolutely okay. That's absolutely okay. Some people don't find a career till they get in their 30s or 40s, the career they want to follow. It's really it's difficult. It really is. I just encourage Daniela to get out there, experience as much as you can, and sooner or later you'll find something that fits. And she has. She's done quite early, to be fair, 22, 24. But yeah, it's difficult to make an informed decision without that education or experience piece. So just get out there and do everything you can, do as much as you can, and then make your mind up.
Well, Adie and Sam, thank you so much for sharing your stories and insights today. It's been fantastic, and I'm sure a lot of parents are pleased that you've taken the time, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Find Your Force. If you enjoyed this, then make sure you subscribe for future episodes. And please do give this a share. It makes all the difference. We want as many people to realise their potential by finding their force.